Hello and welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here with me. Welcome to another DIY video. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join my creative squad. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Wendy. I'm so happy you're here, and now I know you're excited to start, so let's do it. For DIY number one, I'm gonna take this Dollar Tree hanger and this little bunny. This was like a garland that I bought for my daughter, and I just took one of those bunnies to use that and be able to trace this cute little bunny. And as you can see, I'm tracing it a little bit bigger than what it actually is because I want this to be a little bit bigger. Once I have it traced on this paper, I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut that off, and that is going to work for the next step. Once I have my little bunny, I'm just trying to make sure that both sides are kind of even, and once I have that ready, I'm gonna take this Popsicle Sticks and I'm basically going to be creating my cutesy little bunny with this Popsicle Sticks because it will get stained, and it turns out really cute. So I sit the bunny on top of the Popsicle Sticks and I just trace it with a pencil. And by the way, I'm trying a new angle for this videos because I think sometimes I don't show things correctly and you will see me struggle a little bit, but I promise you I'm working on it, and let me know if this angle works better. I think it does because you can actually see exactly what I'm doing from up top, so I think it's good, but if you don't like it, let me know and I'll switch it. But anyway, so as you saw, I just used my scissors to cut the Popsicle Sticks into the shape of this little bunny, and then I'm just gonna take some hot glue and I will be gluing those onto the paper. The reason why is because I don't want to have to glue the Popsicle Sticks from the sides because I felt like the glue was gonna come up, and so this way the glue is on the bottom, and so basically the edges of this little bunny were showing through the little paper, and so I just go in with some scissors and trim that off. And once I have that ready to go, I am going to be taking a sanding sponge and I'm going to be sanding the edges of this cutesy little bunny just so the edges are smoother. And now it's time to stain our cutesy little bunny, and I'm taking this brush, and the stain color will be in the description box as always. And also the good thing about gluing this Popsicle Sticks onto the paper is that you can actually bend the Popsicle Sticks and you can get in between the Popsicle Sticks, and so everything is all one color. And yeah, so now I'm going to take a paper towel and kind of just rub it off and I guess remove the excess of this stain. And now I am also going to be staining these two little boxes. These came from these little drawers from the Dollar Tree, and if you saw my past DIYs, I think it was like 2-3 videos ago, I did these planters and I removed those little drawers. Here is where they came in handy because they are perfect for this DIY. So all I'm gonna do is stain them, and as you can see, I'm staining a little bit of the inside just because when I put the greenery in, maybe they'll show. I don't know, I don't think they do, but it seemed like the correct thing to do. Okay, anyways, now I'm taking the sign and I'm gonna be painting the back of this in the color white, and I'm using the back because it has nothing on it, and I've had it where they have the stickers on there, and when you put the paint on top, they kind of get I guess bubbles in them in between the paper and the carton board or whatever it's called. And but anyway, so now I'm just going to take this piece of wood to kind of mark where I want the shiplap effect. And as you can see, I was kind of impatient and the paint wasn't completely dry. So when I went to do this, the piece of wood kind of removed some of the paint, but it's okay because I went in with some more white paint, and then it kind of looked like it was meant to be. I don't know, it seemed very organic once I do this dressing and all that. It seemed like it looked good, or at least to me. But anyway, so now where I marked with the pencil for the shiplap, I just went in with some black paint and kind of went over those lines just because I wanted them to be a little more stronger. And as you can see, they are not perfect, and that's okay because that's what I was going for. I was trying to give it a little bit more of old look to it. And now I'm just gonna take my brown chalk paint from Waverly, as well as going to be linked in the description box, and I'm going to be just going on there with that paint, kind of distressing it as well on the edges of this little sign. And now I'm going to take this yarn because my cutesy bunny needs a little tail, and I'm basically going to create a cute pom-pom for this. And so I just wrapped it a few times on my fingers, and then I'm gonna cut it off, use another little piece of yarn, and then tie that together. Once that is tied, I am going to be trimming the edges with scissors, as you can see, and then it's going to be just kind of even it out just so it looks pretty and fluffy, if you will. And once that is completed, I am going to test it on there, and as you can see, it's so pretty and cute. Now I had this little piece of raffia that came on those little Easter eggs from Dollar Tree, and I thought it was the perfect thing to use for my little bunny, and so I just took it and created a simple little bow. And as always, my explanation or my directions is just tie it how you would tie your shoes. That's the best I can come up with. But anyway, I'm gonna take another piece and I am going to create a little I guess like a necklace type of thing situation, and I'm gonna glue it on there, and I am going to turn it over and then glue my little bow. I was trying to figure out if I wanted it on the ear or on the neck, and I went for the neck. And now it's going to be just gluing my little cutesy tail on there. And how adorable is this bunny? Okay, now it's time to put everything together. So I'm going to grab my bunny and placing it under my two little boxes to create the planters. I'm starting with the boxes, and I will glue them in place, and I'll go for my second box, just making sure. I forgot to put glue in between each box, so you will see me going in right now with a little bit of glue and trying to rescue this situation. And then all that's left is to glue the cutesy little bunny. I feel like I should have glued it a little bit higher, just because when I put the greenery on there, it's kind of covering the legs, but it looks really pretty still. But I would say move it up a little bit if you want to see the whole bunny body. But anyway, I learned my lesson, and so now I waited till the end, till everything was glued, to grab my Waverly wax, antique wax, and distress it with that. And as you can see where the paint kind of came off, but I feel like it looks nice. But I don't know, you let me know what you think. And now all that's left is to create a hanger for our cutesy bunny, or I guess one of the last steps is to create that. Now I'm gonna take some of this floral foam and some greenery. That greenery is actually from from Walmart, and it was 99 cents, so it was a great deal. And now I'm just gluing the foam inside, and now I'm gonna take this greenery and I cut the pieces individually, each branch, because otherwise it was gonna be too high. So I just cut them all off, and then I just started placing them in my little boxes to make it look nice and fluffy. Once I had everything in there, I also had some of the Dollar Tree carrots that are super cute and adorable, and I just placed them in there to decorate with that. And here is the end result. I am in love of how this DIY turned out. For DIY number 2, I'm taking one of the Dollar Tree tote bags, and I'm basically going to be cutting 2 rectangles. As you can see, these ones are already cut, and is because and they're cut into a bunny shape, and it was because on my last project, my Easter sign with the bunnies and the eggs, if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. I was gonna use that to cover up the bunnies, but I was only able to get enough for 2 of those little bunnies, and I needed 3. But anyway, so basically I cut that into a rectangle, and then I'm going to glue the edges to create a little sack, and it works. This is a really easy and quick project, and it turns out really pretty. Once I have it all my 3 sides glued down, for the top part, I'm just gonna flip the inside out, just so the seams, or what I'm trying to pretend are seams, are on the inside. And now all I'm going to do is add some more glue on the top edge, and I'm basically going to fold it in a little bit, just so it's or we're gonna pretend again like this is a seam. and then I'll just fold it in one more time just so it stays in place and it looks nicer. And now all I'm going to do is take a marker and write on their bunny bait. You could use stencils. If you have a Cricut machine, you could just use the stickers and put them on there, but this works as well. And then all I'm gonna do is take my antique wax from Waverly and I'm gonna go over my little sacks, and just to make them look like they're dirty, you know, and I'll just fill them in with some Spanish moss. And I end up creating 2 out of the tote bag, and you could probably create more, but I only went for 2. And then I just created one other one with the bean sack or burlap fabric, and I just fill it in with some Dollar Tree little carrots that are so cute, by the way. And then I had this basket that I created on one of my past DIYs. I will leave the video link below if you're interested. And now here is the end result. I love how these little bunny bait sacks turn out. For this DIY, I'm gonna take these arrows that I picked up from the Dollar Tree a long time ago, and I actually hadn't figured out what I wanted to do with them. And then I was like, Easter is coming, I need some Easter arrow signs, so I thought it was the perfect time to use them. So I grabbed my acrylic white paint and I painted both of these white. As you can see, the one at the bottom has legs and it actually stands, and I thought it was a really cool idea to make this a sign stand. And so what I'm doing here is I had these empty stickers, I think that's what they're called, I don't know, but basically once you remove the actual sticker, you are left with these. And I came up with the idea to use them as stencils, and you have seen me, if you've seen my videos, you've seen me done this a few times and it really works. So I removed them, cut them off, and then I put them on my arrows. I want one to say bunnies and the other one is going to say carrots. And so now I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint and I am going to be painting these letters. And you will see in a second once I remove these stickers that they actually are not perfect, but trust the process, they will turn out really, really good at the end. Okay, so here is when I start removing the stickers, and as you will see once I remove them, you can see that they're not perfect, but they turn out really, really good at the end. So this is a really quick and easy project that you can do. And now I'm going to distress it. You can leave it as it is, but I wanted to distress it, I'm sorry. And so I grabbed some of my chalk brown paint, and then I also go in with some of the Waverly wax in the antique color. And then as you can see, I'm testing the legs. And I forgot to mention, but I grabbed 2 Popsicle Sticks as well, and I also color them white or paint them white and distress them with the same brown paint. On these ones I didn't add the antique wax until the end, and then I just go in and glue my top arrow, and there you have it. Now all that's left is to reinforce with a lot more glue. And here is the end result. I love how these standing arrows turned out. For this DIY, I'm gonna take this really cute bunny I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start by removing the happy little sign that this has. Once that is removed, I'm going to take my hacksaw and I am going to be trimming off the arms of this bunny. And then I am going to remove, basically I'm going to separate the little egg and the bunny from this sign. And I'm gonna use the hacksaw to do that. As you can see, now that I removed the bunny, I'm going in to remove the extra pieces that are left there from the bunny, just so it can just be shapen into the half of the egg that this sign is. Once I had all those pieces separated, I took the arms and I am going to remove only the paws off of this, and I'll take my sanding sponge to sand the edges so they are smooth, and I'll also take the same sponge to remove the glitter off of this little bunny. And now I am going to use the same acrylic white paint, and I will be painting completely the head of the bunny in this color, and I will also paint the paws with this. And as a suggestion, because I don't think I showed it on this video, you can fill in the little holes from the hanger on this bunny with some spackling and then go over with paint. I think I ended up deciding that later on the video, and then I just didn't record it, but I just thought you want to know. And then I'm going to take this pink paint, and I'm going to paint the edges of this egg because this is going to be standing and I don't want to see the brown color. Okay, now I grabbed some paper and I traced my little paws on there, and then I cut them off with some scissors, and then I traced them on this scrap of foam board that I had. This is an optional step. I want my bunny to have feet, so that's why I did this, but you can totally skip this if you don't want to deal with it. And now I just took my crafting knife and I'm gonna cut off my little legs. And I know these are already white, but I still went in with some white paint just because I want it to be even in the same color that the head and the other hands have. And now I am going to grab my brown chalk paint, and I will go in for the head, the paws, the feet with the same color. And then I am just taking a pencil and kind of mapping where I want the bottom of the paws to be, the little circles, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to grab a flat brush in this why do I keep saying white? I'm so sorry, it's pink, okay, the pink color, and kind of marking or painting where I traced. And I'm so sorry, I'm here, but obviously my brain is somewhere else and I can get this together, but I promise you I'll get it together. But anyway, once I'm done doing that, I will take a scrap of wood and I will be tracing a triangle, and then I'll stain that. This is the exact same thing I did on my last bunny, on my last Easter DIY home decor. I will link it below. And once I'm done doing that, I will take some black paint in the top of the brush, or I guess the bottom, you know what I'm talking about, the end of this brush, and I will create the eyes with that. And then I'll just take a pencil and dip it in the black paint to create the little mouth for this little bunny. And once that it's completed, I am going to grab some hot glue and I will be gluing the nose into place. And now I'm gonna take some twine rope and I will be giving this bunny some whiskers, and so I will be cutting off 3 pieces for each side, so a total of 6 little strings, and then I will just glue them on there with some hot glue. Now I'm going to take one of these Dollar Tree crates, and as you can see, I'm recycling this from a past project, and basically I will paint it white. And then while this dries, I am going to take some of these Jenga blocks that are also from the Dollar Tree. I will take 4 of them because these are going to be the legs of my little crate, and I will take some hot glue and start gluing them into place. Now this is optional if you want to put legs or not. I just needed this because it raises the head of the bunny. You will see in a second what I'm talking about. Now all I'm going to do is to paint these legs in the color white just so everything matches. And after that is done, I will be distressing the sides of this crate. I didn't distress the front and the back because that's not going to be showing. You'll see why. And so now I'm going to take this popsicle stick and I will basically mark where the head ends of this bunny, because that is going to be holding the bunny and the crate together. As you can see, I'm adding some hot glue and I will glue this onto the crate first because I want to have some support for my head. Now I'm adding glue to the popsicle stick and sitting this head on top. And this is what it's looking like. Now I'm gonna add some hot glue to the front of this crate, and I will be gluing the half of this egg on the front. And this is what I was talking about. If I wouldn't have put legs on this crate, it would have been too the head would have been too low and it would have been kind of hidden behind it. But anyway, so as you can see, the little bunny feet were too big for what I was going for, so I ended up having to grab my crafting knife and cutting them off a little bit smaller. Now I'm just placing my arms and my legs, or I guess the feet of this bunny, where I want them to go, and then I'm going to start adding hot glue to them. And once that is done, it is time to grab those cutesy little Dollar Tree eggs and placing them right in the crate. It fits perfectly on there. I did take off the eggs just to make sure that I adjust the carton in there, and then I put the eggs back in there and it looks super cute. Now I decided that I wanted this bunny to have a bow, so I created a really simple bow with this ribbon and I added it to the ear. And now, as a last step, one of the front legs was showing a little bit too much, so I removed it and then I glue it back in there, but a little bit more inwards, and I liked it way better. And here is the end result. I think this bunny turned out super cute and is for sure one of my favorites. For this DIY, I'm taking 2 of these bamboo Dollar Tree wreaths, and as you can see, one of them, it's already taken apart, and that is because I recycle it from my heart wreath that I created for one of my videos. And basically, this wire is from one of those 3D wreaths from the Dollar Tree, and I just picked the biggest ring and I cut it in half. And once I have those wires ready, I shape them into a ear, and then I just start taking the bamboo pieces and I just wrap them on there with some twine rope. It's really easy to do. I would say keep the thicker pieces at the bottom and then just work your way up, and because it will be easier to bend once you get to the top. And once I am done wrapping this on there, I will be taking some yarn to wrap the bottom of the ears together. I did this because I didn't think I had any twine rope left, but then I do end up finding some, thank God, and I was able to finish this wreath. But for the meantime, just pretend this is twine rope and not yarn. But basically, I just tie this at the bottom. Once that is done, I'll cut that off, and then there you have both of your ears. And now because I left those thicker pieces at the bottom, these worked really great for basically stabbing this circle wreath and adding them on there and being able to secure them. Now I'm gonna add a lot of hot glue to make sure everything is secured, and trust me, it was totally fine. And you could also secure it with some twine rope. Okay, so I'm gonna take this Walmart picks that I found for 99 cents, and I'll basically cut the branches off individually, and then I'll just divide them in half, and I will put half on each side at the bottom of this wreath. I hope that makes sense. And then once I have those ready, I will glue those pieces together to create one single piece, and I think it looks amazing. Now that I have those ready to go, I will take some of these Dollar Tree picks, and don't they look like whiskers? I think they do, and I thought it was the perfect thing to use. So I just also cut those off into individual pieces, and then I just started adding them at the bottom of this wreath, and I kind of just stab them, and then I did one in with some hot glue and secure them in place. Once those are ready, I did add some hot glue and put the greenery from Walmart on top. And then after that, I had this ribbon that I really like, and I thought it went perfect for this, and I just created a simple bow, as you can see. Now I'm creating the tail of this, and then I'll just create the middle loop. And then now I'm just going to add some of the Dollar Tree carrots. These little carrots are adorable. I don't know why I love them so much, but anyway, I just used 3 on each side and kind of just glue them on there, kind of on the branches. And then here is where I found my twine rope, and then I just started covering the yarn on there, and it was a great idea because otherwise this would not look good. But basically that's all I did, and I love how this turns out. Here is a picture of this beautiful wreath. I do love this. I am in love with this, and I want to say this and the bunny with the eggs is my favorite. But you let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite DIY today. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you on my next DIY. Bye!